this test, Cycling Plus brought together 6 really nice German bikes. We wanted to put to bed the popular conception that German bikes were boringly, ruthlessly efficient and that the design was a little bit dull. First up, Canyon's Endurace AL 7.0. It's an aluminium frame with full Shimano Ultegra group set, Mavic Axiom 1 wheels and good quality finishing kit. Bombtrack's Hook 2 is a cyclocross bike in a road bike test, but it's made with good quality Columbus Chroma steel. And as it's a cross bike, it comes with SRAM's new 1x Rival 1 gearing. Silverbacks Sorelli 2 has full Shimano Ultegra build, Fulcrum Racing 3 wheels, a raft of carbon kit, and the weight is seriously impressive. Cube's Lightning C62, like other bikes here, has Shimano Ultegra all over it. It's got mostly carbon components, and Fulcrum's Racing 44 aero wheels shod with Schwalbe 1 tyres. As you'd expect, Stalks Sonero disc has disc brakes. They're Shimano hydraulic numbers, and you also get Shimano 105 kit, plus DT Swiss wheels that can be run with tubeless tyres. Finally, Focus's Racy Kaio disc 3.0. It's got hydraulic discs from Shimano, clearances for big tyres, and Focus's clever rat-through axles. As you'd expect with Canyon, the Endurace AL 7.0 offers loads of value for money. With its almost full Ultegra build, it's got a KMC chain, but that's just splitting hairs, and Mavic Axiom 1 wheels, the Canyon, as you'd expect, does offer great value for money. Great value for money doesn't mean anything if it rides terribly though. The good news, of course, is this bike doesn't. Canyon make really good aluminium bikes, and the geometry of this one actually mimics the carbon Endurace CF. So you're getting the same bike, just in a slightly different material. Don't believe what you've heard about aluminium being uncomfortable. If you have heard that, this bike is very comfortable. In fact, the ride is really pleasant. It handles well, it climbs well, it does everything well. The only thing we'd say about it is it's just really nice. It probably isn't that exciting, but if you are after a really solid, great value bike, this hits the mark. I'll be honest, the Bombtrack Hook 2 is a bit of an outlier in this test. It's a cyclocross bike, or I suppose at a push we could call it a gravel bike because they're on trend right now. It's got SRAM's 1x11 Rival 1 group set. That means you've only got one lever that actually does any shifting, and this is all the rage amongst crossers at the moment. They seem to really like it. We did find that the 1132 cassette didn't actually offer as much range as we would have hoped. It's not that brilliant for actual off-road climbing, but it's probably got just about enough. The TRP Spire mechanical brakes are the best mechanical brakes you can get pretty much, but they don't have the stopping power of hydraulic brakes. We also found that the Continental Cross tyres weren't that brilliant in really wet mud, and they weren't that brilliant on the road. So all in all, the Bombtrack was a little bit of a disappointment. The Columbus Chroma steel frame is really good looking, and it rides really nicely, but the bike is a little bit heavy, the tyres aren't that brilliant, and we just don't think at this price this bike is as versatile as it could be. Silverback's South African-born founder Dion Retief actually says he wants Silverback to be the Apple of the bike world. We were impressed with the value of the Silverback Sorelli 2. It weighs under 7.25 kilograms, which is pretty impressive. It's got a full carbon frame, as you'd expect. It's got Shimano Ultegra all over it, which is fantastic, but it is the go-to group set at this price point, and Fulcrum's impressive Racing 3 wheels. The frame angles are actually on the steepish side, so this bike is quite racy, but we like that, and that's probably a little bit more German than some of the more comfortable bikes on the test. It would be fair to say that the ride on this bike is Germanically efficient. I know that's a stereotype, but it's true. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's also surprisingly comfortable, helped by the slim seat stays. But what the Silverback really does well is handle like a dream. It's a great descender. It's also a pretty good climber too. We really like it. One note of caution, if you live in a hilly area and you're not very good at climbing, the 1125 cassette is actually quite racy, particularly nowadays where 1128 is more the standard. So if you want a big bailout gear, this probably isn't the bike for you. The Cube Lightning C62's colour scheme divided a little bit of opinion here at Cycling Plus. It's called carbon and green apparently, we don't know what that means. Some people loved it, other people not so much. What they couldn't argue about though was the quality of the bike. It really is very nice, and it also offers great value, again as you'd expect with Cube. You get full Ultegra and Fulcrum's Racing 44 Aero wheels, so a really nice package. It's actually quite similar to the Silverback in that this is a bike designed for the prospective racer, so it's got steeper angles and a short wheelbase, so it's really flingable, it climbs really well, and it's also a great handler. It's everything you'd want from a fast bike. It's also got an 11-28 cassette, so it's a little less racy in that respect than the Silverback, which it so closely resembles. And of course, that's great if you want to go uphill. Stalks Sonero disc is probably the raciest bike here. It's got a short wheelbase, steep angles, and a short head tube. It's a bike for chucking around. Some of us with size 45 feet or bigger did have a few issues with hill clearances, and that meant we did find ourselves every now and again clipping the chainstays as we pedalled. The Stalk is a fast handling bike. It's got pretty light wheels, so it climbs really well too, and because it's got disc brakes, you can have a lot of fun on twisty descents. But, German stereotype alert coming up, it majors in firmness and efficiency. The Stalk is the most expensive bike in this test, but unlike many of the other bikes on test, it doesn't actually have Shimano or Ultegra as its group set. It uses 105. 105 is still a brilliant group set. It's just a bit heavier and not quite as smooth as its more expensive brother. You might have guessed because it's sitting behind me, but the Focus Kaio Disc 3.0 is the winner of this test. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who's read Cycling Plus over the last 10 years, because we've always liked it. You might expect a frame engineered for disc brakes to be much heavier than its rim brake counterpart. Focus though claim that that's not the case. They reckon it's just 20 grams heavier than its rim brake brother. Everything about the Focus Kaio is slick and modern. The gear and brake cabling is all internally routed, and it's easily switchable to electronic gearing, so it's pretty damn future-proof. Something we really like about the Focus is the rat through axle. Basically that's rapid axle technology in Focus's parlance. Quarter turn and you can take the wheel in and out. You don't have to worry about alignment, and we reckon they're actually quicker to use than quick release. We're also really impressed by the amount of tyre you can get on this bike. It takes up to 28, but we actually put a 30 on without any trouble at all. So this bike is probably as close to a gravel bike, I've done that again, as you can get in a real road bike. The Kaio's frame isn't as compliant as some here, but it makes up for that with its clever Concept CPX seat post. It's got a little split in the middle, which has quite a bit of give and really does add up to a comfortable backside. The styling isn't going to set the world alight, but as a package, the Kaio's brilliant. The Ultegra, as you'd expect, works fabulously, and the braking is consistent. It's fast, it's fun, we love it.